Do what you want to do. Stimming is cool. Stimming is fine. We're all in agreement here. Do what you need to do.
Not exactly. So I think we all agree that stimming in certain forms is definitely good for us who are autistic and need to stim in order to regulate our emotions and our body and stress. However, we need to also talk about the more harmful sides of stimming, and a lot of people within Matt's comments have already brought up. There are dangerous stims that where a lot of people during meltdowns, like myself, as well as a lot of other autistic people, because our body is trying to regulate itself and it's trying to release that tension. Sometimes that results in dangerous self-harming stims like head hitting, which is what I do sometimes, or pulling out your hair, or hitting things, or hitting people, or hitting yourself. There's a lot of the ways where your body, even though that is a natural reaction of itself to regulate, is where we need to hold conversation about, as well as the societal acceptance of who is socially accepted to stim. When it comes to stimming in public spaces, it is in most spaces, right? It's really not acceptable to stim, but it's even more unacceptable to stim if you are a Black man or a person of color, and you could potentially be deemed as dangerous if they see you stimming. My friend Dre talks about just that experience where he was in a doctor's office stimming. He was rocking back and forth, which is a very natural stim for most autistic people. But his doctor looked and stared him dead on of that he seemed like he was crazy or something because he was rocking back and forth. So therefore he had to suppress his stim. And that is not cool. That's not great that he had to do that, nor the doctor's reaction. But that's something, again, we need to hold space and be able to talk about and bring to discussion when it comes to all the aspects of being autistic. Because yes, I would love to totally agree with Matt that stimming is great, and a lot of stims that we do are very beautiful to me. That we got our hand flappers, we got stimmers who love to dance like I do. I know Nicole has done even a where she's stimming that I duetted and stim dance with her. We also have people who stim by singing and vocal stims. That's something I also do, and these are beautiful stims itself, but these are also stims that are mostly socially acceptable. But when we go into the more less acceptable stims of rocking, pacing, skin picking, and then even with vocal stims, certain vocal stims are not acceptable. Like if for me, I have to do a lot of popping sounds, or I make a lot of boom boom, or even animal noises. Sometimes I just randomly make meowing sounds or stuff like that. But that's if I did that randomly at work, that would be really weird. So all I want to add to this is that yes, let us stim, but stim in a safe space. Stim where you feel most comfortable and you're able to allow yourself to stim freely, but also just recognize if your stims are harmful to yourself. If you are stimming in a way where you are self-harming, try to find a different stim. And I know that's one of the ways that we try to help those who have self-harming stims to find other stims that can substitute it. Like for me, I used to be very much of a head hitter when I was in meltdown mode and I needed a stim. Now I mostly kind of just scrunch, and it's not it's not the best way to it's a better substitute. And even though it's it could result in me potentially pulling some hair, I usually don't. It doesn't get that far, but that is my replacement stim. It has become more of my stim to replace wanting to hit my head. So if you have stims that are potentially dangerous, or also that there's other autistic people who do more kind of self-harming stims, great to hear what other options or what you've done as an alternative to kind of substitute that stim and to prevent you from self-harming, as well as what spaces you feel comfortable stimming.